She could float across a dance floor as though gravity was a polite suggestion. Yet behind that Broadway smile brewed enough venom to call Hollywood's proudest rebel a poisonous snake. Ginger Rogers dazzled the world in sequins and satin, but the stories she took to her grave were stitched with jealousy, espionage, and emerald green betrayal. Tonight, we slip past the footlights and into the shadows to uncover the heartbreaks, hush-hush politics, and cutthroat rivalries Rogers finally exposed in her tell-all memoir. Stay to the very end because the last secret, clutched in a dusty box of letters locked away for decades, reshapes everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's golden age. Ginger's legend starts, not on a soundstage, but in a grim railway station in 1915. Her estranged father, Leela's charming yet unstable ex-husband, snatched 4-year-old Virginia Catherine McMath twice before detectives finally cornered him. The newspaper blurbs buried the horror under polite euphemisms, but the lesson seared itself into Leela's mind. The world would not protect her daughter. She would have to. So when young Ginge pounded out the Charleston at a Fort Worth amateur night and the crowd erupted, Leela pivoted from reporter to full-time impresario. But conquering Kansas City saloons was child's play compared with the storm that awaited behind RKO's studio gates. In 1933, lightning struck. Flying Down to Rio paired Rogers with Fred Astaire. Critics saw effortless sparkle. They never smelled the smoke from a rivalry hot enough to melt celluloid. During the cheek-to-cheek rehearsal for Top Hat, Rogers insisted on a cloud-soft ostrich feather gown. Mid-take, feathers exploded like snow, clogging camera lenses and coating Astaire's tux. "It was like dancing with a chicken," he barked. The press got a sanitized anecdote. Astaire's private notes fumed, "I near choked." Yet that friction forged box office magic and taught Rogers she could spar with the best and still land on the beat. Offstage, another partner waited, ready to swap tap shoes for a 5-carat promise. Howard Hughes didn't court, he hunted. October 1940. He slipped a square-cut emerald Cartier ring on Ginger's finger and drafted blueprints for a Hollywood Hills mansion, then vanished for days, parking outside another starlet's bungalow. When Rogers found out, she dumped him. Hours later, Hughes crashed head-on en route to a dentist appointment. She raced to the hospital, stood over his bandaged face, and walked away for good. The press spun a courteous schedule conflict. The truth? Rogers mailed back the ring and vowed never again to trust a billionaire playboy. The 5 husbands that followed each carried a different promise. Vaudeville partner Jack Pepper's puppy love, actor Lou Ayres' Hollywood glamour, Marine Jack Briggs's wartime stability, French charmer Jacques Bergerac's continental flair, and producer William Marshall's partnership pitch. But every pledge cracked under the strain of Rogers' 18-hour shoot days and her ironclad prenups. Heartbreak hardened her shell, but politics would aim straight for the jugular. Kitty Foyle netted Rogers her coveted gold statue in 1941, yet the after-party confetti had barely settled when Washington painted a red target on Hollywood. Dalton Trumbo's script, Tender Comrade, handed Rogers the patriotic lead, but post-war witch hunters deemed its share and share alike line communist propaganda. Leela Rogers erupted before HUAC, insisting her daughter had been forced to spew subversive doctrine. Even committee members chuckled. Yet the accusation stuck, and Trumbo landed on the blacklist. Just 7 years earlier, Rogers herself had weaponized the courts, slamming fitness radio diva Sylvia of Hollywood with a $100,000 defamation suit after Sylvia claimed Ginger skipped rehearsals for spa days. The lesson? In a town built on spin, the loudest storyteller wins. And no storyteller was louder or sharper than the woman Ginger would brand a serpent. Picture the stage door set, 1937. Hepburn, already Broadway aristocracy, waltzes in wearing slacks, practically a scandal, firing off witty frost. Rogers, top billing yet wary, offers a cordial hello. Hepburn coolly replies, "What's your name again?" The chill never thawed. Rogers later recalled how Hepburn swiped dialogue, mocked her Midwestern twang, and lobbied directors behind closed doors. Decades later, in her memoir, Rogers finally snapped. She was a poisonous snake. Fans gasped, two idols locked in fang-bared standoff. Yet Rogers' confession did more than wound a rival. It unmasked the gladiatorial pit actresses inhabited, battling for scripts, photographers, and breathing room in an industry that tossed women aside the moment the marquee dimmed. The feud would simmer for half a century until a gala meant to celebrate Rogers reopened old wounds.
1992. Kennedy Center Honors. Producers cue up lavish clips of Astaire Rogers' elegance, then yank them moments before broadcast. Fred Astaire's widow, Robin Smith, demanded a payout. The show refused. Viewers saw Rogers' name in glitter, but not one swirl of her legendary foxtrot. The omission punched harder than any critic's review. Hollywood still controlled her narrative. At 81, Rogers mustered one more show-stopping smile, but insiders whispered she left the stage in tears and spent the night drafting a furious letter that never saw daylight, until an estate box surfaced in 2024, revealing the unsent pages. Wounded, she retreated to the desert heat and Oregon pine shadows, guarding her faith and her secrets until the final curtain. Rancho Mirage winters wrapped Rogers in warm anonymity. Mornings began with tennis volleys and Bible study. Afternoons with handwritten notes to fans who slid letters beneath her gate. Summers in Medford meant pine-scented hikes and secret rehearsals at the Criterion Theater, whose dusty boards she once trod as a 15-year-old vaudevillian. Friends recall she moved as though melodies still played in her head. April 25, 1995, a quiet heart attack ended the dance. In accordance with her wishes, she was cremated, her ashes intertwined with Layla's in Chatsworth. She left no children, only a paper trail of contracts, correcting every headline that had ever belittled her achievements. Yet even in death, Ginger Rogers keeps tapping, warning anyone who'll listen about the price of spotlight fever. Strip away the satin and spotlight, and Ginger Rogers' story is a masterclass in self-reinvention. She fought kidnappers, rival icons, billionaire egos, Washington witch hunters, and a patriarchal studio machine, then lived long enough to publish the receipts. The next time a glossy biopic paints Hollywood's golden age and pastel nostalgia, remember the emerald that never became a wedding band, the feather dress that shed blood, the 5 prenups that preserved a woman's autonomy, and the unsent letter that thundered louder than any televised tribute. So here's your curtain call challenge. What hidden rivalries are simmering behind today's viral TikTok duets and red carpet selfies? Drop your hottest theory below, smash that subscribe, and keep your eyes on Macabre Media for the next deep dive into the legends who danced through daggers, then dared the world to watch.